A lot of men are frustrated at how dating is going right now. They look at the modern dating scene and they see that it's in shambles to some extent because it's complete chaos. There's no kind of order, no kind of loyalty, no kind of respect to be found. And this is men as a whole. I'm not talking about every single one because there are men out there that have their stuff together and they do lead successful relationships slash lives, and their dating life is on the up and up. But like I said, this is just a few men. For the most part, a lot of men out here are really struggling, for lack of better terms, because they keep running into the same situations with the same type of women that are just, like I said, just chaotic, no kind of order, no kind of, the man feels kind of helpless or doesn't have any type of control over the situation. And I'm gonna say something that is gonna offend and is gonna trigger a lot of guys, but I'm saying this not trying to be demeaning or not trying to belittle, because I'm speaking from experience. I'm talking to you guys as a man that has experienced this. Experience is the best teacher. And the reason why you keep attracting these type of women and they keep coming into your life is because simply a lack of masculinity. No, it's not your fucking jawline. It's not your height. It's not your blah, blah, blah. Now, do looks and stuff and all of that stuff play a part? Sure, I'm not going to sit here and be completely oblivious to this fact. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't see reality, okay? But with all that being said, still in soul, it is a lack of masculinity with most men, because most men look average. They can get a girl if they tweak a few things, right? They can get a chick if they tweak one or two things. And I've seen men out here that will be considered quote unquote incels. They have kids, they have girlfriends, okay? So I'm gonna get right into it. This is Tarik Talks, and I do present you guys with a midnight podcast. Sit down, relax, and let's talk about this, because this is an issue that's been plaguing men for the longest. So most men are out here, and once again, this is gonna offend and trigger a lot of guys, but if you want to solve a problem, you have to get to the root of it. You can't just blame women. You can't just put all the blame on them. Not saying that they're innocent. I'm just saying you have to look within yourself. You got to start with yourself. Once you figure that out, everything else on the outside is going to make sense. It's going to fit like a puzzle. But the main reason is because a lot of guys are aimless. A lot of guys are thirsty. A lot of guys are just out here and they're lost and chaotic them damn selves. You can't expect structure and order when you lack that yourself. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? You can't expect a house to be stable when the foundations are weak. You just can't expect it to. That's the same thing with you, okay? You can't expect the surrounding world to reflect structure and order if you yourself do not possess that. And of course, there's external factors that you just cannot control. I'm not saying just because you get yourself structured and ordered and masculine and all that good stuff, and all these women out here are just gonna conform and be these perfect mates. No, I'm not saying that. As a matter of fact, what I'm really saying is that the pool of women that you're gonna be attracting is going to shrink. Yes, you heard that right. When you start getting structured, when you get out of your drunken haze, when you get out of your drug-induced haze, when you get out of your lost, chaotic, no structure, aimless fog that you're in, you're going to lose a lot of options, because what you're doing is you're filtering. Y'all, let me tell you something. A lot of these guys that are players, quote unquote, I'm just gonna really put it like this, and I'm gonna offend some people and some content creators. It is what it is. They are losers. I'm just gonna put it straight like that, because they just have way too much time on their hands. That's why they get a lot of low quality chicks, because they're like attracts like. He's not serious about anything. He's not serious about life, and I'm not saying that you should not enjoy life. I'm not saying that whatsoever. You should enjoy life. But what I'm saying is he's out here in the streets, and that's the type of chicks that he's going to attract. And there's plenty of those. There's plenty of chicks out here that have no kind of morals, no kind of loyalty, no kind of faithfulness, have no intent on raising a home, raising kids, none of that stuff. And that's who they attract. That's who these quote unquote players attract, because the energy they're giving off is one of, I only care about getting kitty. And so these females pick up on that. They pick up on that energy, and it just kind of blends with what they're throwing out, which is I'm a thotty, right? And I'm out here doing my thing. That's what it's gonna attract. Now, when you start getting your masculinity up, right? And what do I mean by this? When you stop tolerating this disrespect, a lot of guys just tolerate any kind of treatment. They tolerate women leaving them on red, only for them to go and text them again the next day or blow their phone up, right? A lot of guys, I've seen this in person, fellas. I've seen some of these women's DMs that they show me. There are guys that literally text them and send them messages every single day. Every single day. The message ratio is like 10 messages from him and 1 from her, right? This kind of aimless, no purpose, thirsty ass vibe. And when men, that's not masculine. That's not masculine. That's actually weak for a man to beg, because that's what you're doing. You're begging, right? You strip that respect away from yourself. Guys, I'm about to get deep in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get really deep. You strip yourself of respect when you're begging. These guys are giving these chicks Cashapp money for no reason. All of that stuff. And these same guys, they're expecting some kind of loyal, some kind of faithful and woman that is about some shit. You're not going to get that. These guys are constantly, a lot of guys are out here constantly in a drunken haze. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to belittle or talk down on nobody. This is just observable truth. This is something that you can observe by walking outside. A lot of these guys are drugged up in a drunken haze, no kind of direction, no kind of any kind of structure out here, and they have the nerve to complain about how women act. Once again, being purposeless, being a drunk with no purpose is not going to yield you any kind of results. That is not masculine. That's not solid. If you're always out of your mental state, if you're always in a haze, that's very lost behavior. It's not solid behavior. It's lost behavior. And you're going to attract, as such, you're going to attract the same type of chicks. You're going to attract the drunk party girl type of chicks. You're going to attract the junkie type of chicks. So when you get that masculinity, when you finally carry yourself in a manner where you don't tolerate disrespect, right? Where you don't care how pretty she looks, if she is out of line, if she comes to a date late, if she's doing something that is out of line, you check her. And if she gets lost in a sauce and she doesn't like it, that's so be it, right? That's just what it is. But once you start getting that self-respect, because you're communicating self-respect when you don't let other people disrespect you, once you start getting that self-respect, the world is going to mirror that. Because you guys want to blame all the external forces, but you don't want to look in yourself. Most of the problems that you face are not because of external forces. They're because of you. Once again, this is going to trigger a lot of people. And I'm saying this not from a place, once again, of me being like, oh, I'm just this perfect guy. No, I'm aware of this myself. Anytime something happens to me, I'm like, I'll start with myself. What could I change that could prevent this next time? Right? And a lot of you guys don't have that introspective. So you're out here being thirsty, talking to different women, trying to be this rotational player type of bullshit. And you're always in this drunken state, kind of lost state. That is what you're going to attract. I'm sorry, it is what it is. And the thing about it is, you guys keep doing the same shit. All of this, I want to be a player rotation, having different broads and being drunk, and you keep getting the same results, and you get mad at guys like me that tell you, hey, look, this is probably why you keep attracting these type of trash chicks. But then you keep doing it, and they're like, oh, man, I'm going to do what I want, man. I'm going to live my life. Go ahead, live life. Everything has consequences in it, though. And like I said, there's a way to go about this. There's a way that's balanced. I'm not telling you guys not to have your fun. We're all men here, right? We all like to have our fun. There's a way to do it. There's a balance to it. And that balance is you're on your shit way more than you are trying to chase broads. See, that's why a lot of broads take advantage, because they see you're way more about them than you are about yourself. Because let me give you guys a prime example. Let's say a guy that doesn't respect himself, like I said, constantly blowing a chick's phone up, constantly trying to get with her after she's blown him off, and not in a good way, right? Blown him off about 5-6 times, still going at it, still persistent. On top of 3 other chicks he's doing that to, constant state of thirstiness. So you ask yourself, what time does he have to be about himself if he's spending all this time trying to chase broads? Now flip it around on a solid man who does respect himself. He texts the chick one time. She doesn't respond, or she does this whole 3-hour or next day text and stuff like that. He's just going to kind of leave it alone, because he's been left it alone. He's in the gym right now. At this very moment, he's in the gym. At this moment, he's listening to some type of useful audio book or podcast or some type of book, right? At this moment, he's drinking water. He's not drinking liquor. Not saying that, for my guys that drink, not saying that you should completely cut it off, but he limits that extremely. See, that's the difference. That's the nuance. And with the second guy, with the solid guy, he's going to eventually meet a chick that's going to text him right on time, and the chick is going to want to see him, right? She's going to be blowing his shit up. She's going to be like, dang, this man is solid. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a nice physique. He's masculine. He turns me on. So anyway, I hope this podcast helped.